Guys, it's Amanda, and it is currently towards the end of June, which means it is time to start preparing for Q4. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down all the supplies that you will need in order to be successful and prepared when it comes to Q4. There is nothing more frustrating when it comes to having a product that has really good margins, ROI, and everything, but you don't have the supplies and you're not able to get more boxes or any filling or anything like that. So it is time to now prepare, and I'm going to tell you all the box sizes and everything you will need to be successful. Q4 starts in October and goes to the end of December, which means during those times you are getting all the major holidays of the year, which includes Halloween, Thanksgiving, and of course all of the religious holidays of Christmas, Hanukkah, and everything like that. And so in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you all the supplies that I ordered in order to be successful when it comes to doing Walmart as seller fulfilled. Now this will be towards seller fulfilled because when you're doing WFS, you just need those big boxes, which I typically use the 22 by 16 and 16, and I'll typically order 50 of those, so I have a lot of those on hand. But if you plan on doing seller fulfilled for Walmart during Q4, you want to make sure you have all of the boxes, filling, and everything you'll need just to make sure you get those sales. Last year, I was missing out on a lot of sales because I didn't have the correct box sizes, or I was kind of wasting a lot of my bigger boxes, and it just was really frustrating. So I'm not going to make that mistake this time when it comes to Q4. Last year, I ordered all of my boxes from theboxery.com, and I know there's a lot of mixed issues when it comes to them. Some people saying that the box qualities aren't great, but for me, I ordered about 500 boxes, and I was satisfied with them. They were really great. There were a couple in the batch that weren't great quality, but I was still able to use them. And for me, at the end of the day, that's all that mattered. You know, I had the boxes, and I was able to, be seller fulfilled and be prepared. So I ordered about 11 different size boxes. I probably went overboard, but I wanted to really be successful and really have every size. So then I knew what I could sell. I did order mainly small boxes. I wanted to do seller fulfilled for items that are under a pound. I would sometimes go up to 2 pounds, but I really didn't want anything heavier or bigger than that because I just wanted to do everything else WFS. And that's just what worked out best for me. If you plan on doing larger sizes or larger items, I would definitely go up in sizes, but these are the ones that I ordered that really helped me with those little tiny items, such as like little mascaras or moisturizers, toys, everything like that. And these really helped me out, and I'm glad that I ordered a variety and I wasn't just stuck on them. So here are the 11 boxes that I ordered. The first is a 7 by 4 by 4. Then 9 by 4 by 4, then a 6 by 6 by 4, then an 8 by 6 by 4. This one was the one I used the most. The 8 by 6 by 4 was amazing. I wish I ordered 100 of those instead of 50 because I did end up having to go up a size because I use those so frequently. Then I did the 10 by 6 by 4. This one was really good for thicker items, little taller items with toys. They were good for board games, I believe. I can't remember exactly, but this item was really good. I sold a ton of these brand cookies, and those fit in perfectly. So 10 by 6 by 4 is also a great size. Then I did 10 by 8 by 4. I would have ordered more of the 10 by 8 by 4 versus the 10 by 8 by 6. I just think those are too close in measurements, so I would omit one of those because I think it's a little unnecessary. But if I were to pick, I would choose the 10 by 8 by 4 just because it is a little bit bigger and gives you that little bit of wiggle room. Then is 9 by 8 by 5. This was a really good box because this one was a little bit built differently, but you had to maneuver it a little bit differently. But other than that, that was a good size box. It was pretty good. I like that one. No complaints. Definitely one that I would order. So the 6 by 6 by 6 was really perfect. I do like that square. I also then ordered an 8 by 8 by 8. That is also a really good size. It is a little bit bigger, so if I were to go back again, I would stick with the 6 by 6 by 6, just simply because it is smaller and anything else bigger than that could fit in the 10 by 6 by 4 or by 8. So that to me was also a great size, just the 6 by 6 by 6. Then I ordered an 11 by 7 by 7. This was one of the bigger boxes that I had. This one would fit Barbies. It would fit the smaller board games and everything like that. But this one was a great size if you're going to do a lot of Barbies or a lot of long, little thin items. It was great for this other cookie that I was selling. It was more of a thin mint type product, but it was a longer product and it was just really thin. So this one fit perfectly. I did just have to add a little bit more stuffing in there. Then I also ordered an 11.5 by 8.5 by 6. This one was also pretty good, but again, because this measurement is so close to the 11 by 7 by 7, I would definitely stick by the 11, 7, and 7. And then of course, I always have on hand is the 22 by 16 by 16. These are the boxes that I send into WFS. I always like to have at least 10 on stock, and then when I'm getting down to my last 10, I try and order about 50 more. And I typically buy these boxes from Amazon. I just think it's easier for me. It works for me. But I'm sure the boxery.com also has that size. But I just kind of stick with what I like. And that's just kind of where I buy that 22 by 16 and 16. All right, next is poly mailers. And these are really good to have because sometimes you just want to send maybe like a squishmallow or something that doesn't need to be in a bag. And so these are the kind of the sizes that I looked. I usually buy these off of Amazon. Again, just because it works for me. They may have them available at theboxery.com. So this is just what works for me. So let's just jump into Amazon and I'll show you the sizes that I've ordered before. Okay, so this is the poly bags that I have used. I like to use the variety kind just simply because I like all the different sizes, because sometimes I never know what will fit into what. You know, I love having these tiny sizes that are just easy, you know, put in and let go. And then same with these larger sizes. If I scroll down, I'm able to select even a bigger size. I do prefer this 8 by 10 by 14. And then I also like to do this bigger size as 13 by 7. So I do like ordering this 8 by 12 by 10 just so that I have the smaller sizes. And then I like doing this bigger size as 13 by 7. And then these just kind of go up in bigger sizes. These are really good if you have blankets or things that are soft that don't need a box. That is what I love doing these ones. And then if you want to do, you can have like the fun little colors. Personally, I just like doing white just because it's easiest for me. And I will also order a lot of them just to make sure I have enough in that size. And again, this is also the biggest size. I do 120 quantity, and that way I know I have enough. Sometimes I will do 2 quantities of these, just add 2 right here. That is what is best for me, but I do need to have like a variety of sizes. So these are the poly mailers that I suggest when it comes to shipping out items as well. Next, you want to have bubble mailers. Now, bubble mailers are good because they will have that bubble included in the mailer. Unlike the poly bags, those have no way of protecting the item. The bubble mailer is really good for protecting the item. If you have like a thing of mascara and you want to send it in there, that's a good option. Or books, DVDs, you can send it through there. So let's go ahead and check out the bubble mailers that I typically buy. And that way we can kind of just see what sizes are available and what the options are. And again, I buy them off Amazon, so be sure to check that out. So let's just dive right in. All right, so these are the bubble mailers that I typically like to buy. And the first one is an 8.5 by 12. I think this is a good size. It fits most things that you're kind of looking to just put in a bag and ship out. Then I also have this 10 by 16. It is a little larger, but I love this size because it kind of fits the bigger things that you would need. And I do like doing the 100 of quantity, but I also like to do the 6 by 10. Having that smaller size is also really smart and beneficial for me. If I had to choose between the two, I would do the 6 by 10, and then I would do the 8.5 by 12. You get a little bit of extra room on both sides versus doing something larger like an 8.5 by 12. But that's just kind of what I like to go after. Those are the products that I like to sell. And so again, I like to sell products that are under a pound or 2 pounds, but definitely nothing more than 3 when I'm doing seller fulfilled. All right, so the next thing that you will need is paper fill or things to put into the boxes when they have a little bit of extra room, and you want to kind of pat it to make sure that it is safe, it's secure, and you don't want it to get broken on the way to the customer. So I typically use just the brown crafting paper from Amazon. It's simple, it's easy, it is kind of expensive, but it lasts me forever. I went through one roll through the whole entire Q4. I didn't need any extras, and so that is kind of nice. It's really thick, it's durable, and a little goes a long way, especially when you crumple it up pretty good. It could then be a good filler. You can also use plastic bags like you get from Walmart or wherever you grocery shop. I like using those as well, but you can't use newspapers. It's kind of the same lines with Amazon, you just can't use that newspaper. So I definitely recommend the brown crafting paper, which is also on Amazon. The next thing that you'll need are labels. This is something that I accidentally forgot about and didn't know I was low on. and I had to order expedite shipping and everything to get it to me sooner, and that was expensive. So that is a thing that I will never forget, and make sure I'm really stocked up on. Make sure you have the 2x1 labels as well as the 4x6 labels. And you can actually get those free at the UPS or USPS. They just take a couple weeks to get to you. It took me about 2 weeks to get to me, but they're free. And I will always do that from now on and make sure I never get low, because that was very stressful, and finding labels for my Rolo was not happening. I could not find it locally. So expedited shipping was really the only option for me, which I was not prepared for. The next is kind of optional, but it's something that I'm definitely going to invest in this next Q4, is having a second Rolo printer. I am so tired of changing the printer size, the 2x1 label versus the 4x6. So I'm going to invest in a second Rolo, and that way one is just a 2x1 and the other one is 4x6. And there's no more changing labels. There's no more of that fuss, because every time I do that, it jams and it's just incredibly frustrating. But when I don't change it out, it works beautifully. So for me, I'm going to invest in a second Rolo. I'd be curious down in the comments, who has a second Rolo that you absolutely love and are so grateful you did that? Because I apparently am the only one who doesn't have a second Rolo. So I'd love to know who also doesn't have a second Rolo and is struggling. All right, so on to the next one, which is making sure you have a heat gun or a Scotty peeler. I learned that I'm using the wrong Scotty peeler. I've been using the plastic ones versus the actual blade. No wonder why I'm struggling, and because, I'm not using the right Scotty peeler. I have to use the blade, and I was able to try the blade and it works magnificently. It was beautiful. I just didn't know what I was missing out until I tried that. So highly recommend the blade of the Scotty peeler versus the plastic one. Next is one of the biggest things to not forget about that I constantly forget about, and that is tape. You use so much tape when it comes to boxing things, when it comes to seller fulfilled or WFS. I go through so much tape, and so I just like to stock up and make sure I don't run out. The whole point of doing seller fulfilled is to make sure you're having all of these supplies, and nothing is more frustrating than not having the supplies. Like, you don't have the tape, so you have to run to Walmart or the post office and buy a tape dispenser that's probably $12 or something. That is so unnecessary when you have the ability to have, this endless supply that you'll need because you were prepared. The last thing is to having a plan when it comes to doing seller fulfilled. What time of day are you going to do it? What time is your cutoff that you need to get them sent out? There's no point in having all of these supplies and materials if you're not able to get them out as soon as you can, and having all the materials that you need, plus having the inventory to sell. Are you going to be doing Walmart to Walmart flips? Are you going to be doing OA and just doing seller fulfilled? So, it's so important to also be sourcing and finding those good buys and really being so prepared when it comes to Q4.
Hey, I am now offering one-on-one coaching. So if you want to have some one-on-one time with me, whether it's 30 minutes or an hour, I am now available, and check out the link below to check out my schedule and book that. I can help you with anything with Walmart, when it comes to adding items into your inventory, or walking you through your first WFS shipment, or just learning how to source. I'm available and would love to help you on your journey, so let's connect.
Well, that is it for today, and please let me know if I missed something or that is something that you must have when it comes to being prepared for Q4, because it really is right around the corner. It's going to be here before you know it, and we just all want to be prepared and know what we need. I hope to see you guys in the next one, and please like, subscribe. It really does help the channel. And if you can comment, I would greatly appreciate it. And I just can't wait to hear your wins when it comes to Q4, because that is when things get exciting. And I will see you in the next one.